Hello, I'm Denise Phillips and welcome to Northwood United Synagogue, professional chef and cookery writer. We are going to be celebrating Rosh Hashanah really soon, Sunday 25th of September. One of the main foods that we focus on is honey, and there's lots of reasons why, and two of them I would like to share with you, and these are from the book Jeffrey Cohen wrote, 1001 Questions and Answers about Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. And one of them actually relates back to the time the children of Israel were wandering in the desert in Egypt and referred to the manna like honey wafers. And this is really the reason why we refer back to this, is that during that time we should remember that everything the Jews received solely dependent upon God's grace and favour. And another reason that I really quite like is the fact that the jaw roll of bees, feared for its sting and cherished for its sweetness, and they provide reminiscent image of a stern but merciful God. So honey is really quite a complex food. Now this particular brand, Troy, does a wonderful thick, really kind of sort of golden brown nectar. It's absolutely delicious, and honey varies according to the flowers or flowers, how it is produced, where it's from, and the general rule is that stronger the colour, like this, the stronger the flavour. You can get honey clear, thick, even a honeycomb, and also raw, sort of naturally raw, which is and it's not processed. So ideally you need to match the food to the honey that you're using. So the stronger the honey, perhaps better for marinating. Clear runny honey is better for perhaps drizzling onto cakes or on salads or to make dressings. And another little tip, don't store your honey in the fridge. It will become a semi-solid mass. Now this honey I'm using here, which I'll show you once more, is Troy honey, and it's coming from the Greek mountains. It's $8.95. You can get it from your local kosher supermarkets, but also online. It is absolutely beautiful, and that's that little bit different. So if you're interested in this, it's really good to have honey. We wish for a forthcoming year that's healthy, put honey on the menu. So we are going to be making this cake. This is a honey date cake. All my recipes are on my website, jewishcookery.com, together with all my cookery events and events for Jewish singles, date on a plate. So I'm going to just move that to one side now and talk you through the recipe we're going to be making. Now here I have, these are pitted dates, and what I've done is I poured boiling water over them, and that just softens them and makes it easier to cook with. I'm going to put all these ingredients into the food processor. So starting with the dates, I'm just going to gently push that over. So and the dates they will say poured with boiling water but drained. You don't need that excess water. So I'm going to put that all into the food processor. I'll bring that over so you can see a little bit better. This is plain flour, so in that goes. So let's just move that over so you can see exactly what I'm doing here. Baking powder, because we used plain flour. One of my favourite spices, that's cinnamon, so in that goes. Give that a little tap. Brown sugar. So whatever brown sugar you have, muscovado if you wanted to use, or light brown, dark brown. And here I have, this is vanilla extract. So I'm going to give that a little whiz before I put the wet ingredients in. So those are the dry ingredients. I'm going to give that a whiz. All right, so mixing those all in together. 3 eggs, vegetable oil, okay, or sunflower oil. I do know that it is really difficult to get kosher oil at the moment, so sunflower oil, vegetable oil, either of those are really good. I'm going to give that a whiz. And now for the star of the show, this beautiful, beautiful Troy honey. I've got 75 grams of this, and just look at this beautiful, beautiful nectar. So adding a taste of wonderful goodness into your honey. So in that goes, stir that in. That's it. Isn't it? Wonderful stuff. A good tip actually is to if you're trying to transfer honey, is dipping it into boiling water so it doesn't stick to the spoon. Right, giving that another whiz. Okay, so that is our cake. I'm now going to put that into a prepared cake tin. So let's move that over. Cake tin, you want to have an insert of baking parchment paper, makes life really, really easy. So I'm going to just gently pour in this mixture, hold down the lid. So let's do this so you can see really easy. Look at this beautiful, beautiful honey cake mixture, and honey and dates. There we go, adding all of that mixture in. I'm going to use my spatula, remove the blade and add the rest of the mixture. Right. Now you need to preheat your oven to 170 degrees centigrade, gas mark 4, into the oven for about 45 minutes. You know when your cake is cooked is when you insert a toothpick or a skewer and it comes out clean. Let it cool completely before you actually take your cake out of the cake tin. Also prevents it from cracking. And as I say, another good tip about preventing your cake from cracking. When the cake is completely cooked, turn the heat off and leave it in your oven maybe for about 10 minutes with the door open, and you will find it less likely to crack. So this is now ready for the oven. This is your beautiful cake. All right, I'm going to move that to one side. Let me bring you back to, here's the one I made earlier. Look at that beautiful dark inside. That reflects the beautiful Troy honey. So, as I say, remind you the recipe is on my website, jewishcookery.com. I just want to wish you a very happy and healthy new year. Lashana Tova. I'd now like to introduce you to Rabbi James Mindell, who would like to give you a spiritual message for Rosh Hashanah. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Denise. That looks like a delicious honey cake, and I would really look forward to tasting it on Rosh Hashanah. So on every Chag or festival, you can tell the mood and associate the time of the year by the food on the table. At Hanukkah, it is donuts. On Shavuot, it is cheesecake. On Purim, it is hamantashen. And each food tells part of the story and reminds us of the festival. For me, Rosh Hashanah reminds me of delicious apple pie, although I do really like honey cake as well. And although there are no apples or honey linked specifically to the New Year in the Torah, they're not specifically mentioned, there is a widespread practice to dip apple in honey on Rosh Hashanah and to dip challah in honey. Some people also do other simanim or signs. For instance, some people eat carrots, leeks, beets, dates, gourd, pomegranate, or the head of official sheep on Rosh Hashanah. Each of these simanim or signs remind us of something that we hope for the new year. Often these are related to the linguistic link to the food, such as, for example, carrot in Hebrew is called a gezer. Gezer is also the word for a gezerah, or a decree. So people might eat a carrot and declare, may it be the will, Lord our God, that you increase us good decrees, just like the carrot is a decree. Sometimes it might be linked to the nature of the food itself. For example, a pomegranate has many seeds, so they would eat a pomegranate and say, may my deeds increase, and my mitzvah increase like the seeds of the pomegranate. I've even heard of putting raisins on celery for a raise in salary. One could legitimately ask, I understand eating matzahs on Pesach, the Torah says so, it's a mitzvah, and it reminds us of the exodus of Egypt. But, all these simanim sound a bit like bubamaises, a bit like nonsense. Will we really have a better year if we eat the head of a trout? It all smells a bit fishy, excuse the pun. I think the deeper answer goes into the meaning of Rosh Hashanah itself. Rosh Hashanah means the new year, but it has many names in the Torah. One of the names is Yom HaZikaron, the day of remembrance. And we refer to it as Yom Harat Olam, the day the world was created. It's a day where Hashem remembers us and judges us for the year ahead. In tradition, it's also the time where Hashem remembered Sarah and Hannah to give them a child. And when he rescued Noah to get from the flood. So it is also a day for us to remember and reflect on the year that's gone behind us, and to look forward at the year ahead. And food is really strongly associated with memory. There's familiar tastes and smells, which remind us of the time of year and home-cooked food. So what better way to set out on the new year by surrounding ourselves with positive food, with good associations, with family, and by eating apple dipped in honey. That won't itself make your year sweet, but those positive memories and associations really will do. So this year, while you're sitting down to your apple dipped in honey, your apple pie and your honey cake, and maybe even beets or raisins on celery for those who are that way inclined, don't forget to reflect on the year that has gone past and make some good resolutions for the year ahead, so you can have a happy and sweet year full of good deeds and success. Wishing a Shana Tova and Happy New Year.